What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you're excited. The NFL is back. I'm recording this about, 2 hours before kickoff between the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams. Just took my dog for a walk and actually forgot to turn off my workout. My Apple Watch thinks I am putting in some overtime here. Let's get that done. I don't want to lie to myself. The Dallas Cowboys don't play for a couple of days, and of course, they have been practicing. And Thursday brought with it some hecticness, some a little bit of fragility as far as the fan base is concerned. We're all anxious, we're all excited, and so we're kind of ready to move. We're emotional. You can take us, very quickly from one direction to the other. So when Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott showed up on the injury report on Thursday, it sent some people into a bit of a tizzy. Now, Dak Prescott joined Michael Gallup and Jordan Lewis on the injury report on Thursday. Joining is in Michael Gallup and Jordan Lewis are both on it on Wednesday. We'll get to them in a moment here. Dak Prescott on the injury report, technically with an ankle. He was technically a limited participant, technically had to leave practice. Those are all the technical, literal, not malleable details. All of those things are very black and white. Those things all true. However, the panic, the ensuing chaos, I think, is where we all need to, maybe take a step back, maybe take a deep breath, maybe just calm ourselves down a little bit. So if we look at this, the story here, Dak's story is, I'm totally fine. I'm going to play. He doesn't believe this is an issue at all. I think some of the verbiage we tend to hang up on is he tweaked his ankle, things like that. The reason, I think, a big reason for the chaos is this is Dak Prescott's right ankle, the same ankle that, of course, he suffered a huge injury to 2 years ago, the one that cost him a majority of the 2020 season. And this is, we're here, right? We made it through the entire offseason. And so it's a terrifying concept to think about, playing any games without Dak Prescott at this point in time. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. Dak Prescott was very, very reassuring and saying, look, I'm going to play. Don't even think about this, blah, blah, blah. According to Dak Prescott, who is, of course, a Jordan athlete, this has to do with the cleats involved. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a Jordan connoisseur. I'm not that sophisticated. I am very standard, very plain when it comes to sneakers. Like I said, I took my dog for a walk. Are they comfortable enough for me to walk in? That is the stage of my life that I am in. I am not a very stylish person, but Dak Prescott apparently tried some new cleats out, and we all have had shoes that don't fit right. Apparently this just didn't work, and so he had to leave, had to get the situation taken care of, returning to some cleats that he has used before. So I don't think that there's anything to really read into this as far as just the literalness. He had to leave practice. I think Friday's injury report will, of course, keep you updated on what happens on Friday and every day at bloggingtheboys.com. Assuming Dak Prescott is a full participant once again, all the flames will be put out from all this madness and all this mess. So I don't think that we should, again, give this much more time. I think we have to talk about it. That's why I wanted to start the show with it, to make sure that we're all aware of the situation, because you may or may not have seen a headline or an alert or something that says Dak Prescott, limited participant, and you may have just done a double take. Don't worry. All is well. There's no reason to panic. Everything's going to be fine. Season opener on Sunday night. Now, Michael Gallup and Jordan Lewis both remained limited on Thursday's practice report. I say remained because they, of course, were the only two Cowboys on Wednesday's report. Now, we'll get to Michael Gallup in a minute, but Jordan Lewis, this is something that's kind of been swirling in the air for a little bit. My watch is going off, and I'm just going to take the watch off, right? Why not? We'll just, let's just not mess around with it. So I'm watchless now. Jordan Lewis with the hamstring issue that popped up a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Jordan Lewis, I think he's one of the more underrated players on this team. It's certainly possible that he does not play on Sunday against the Buccaneers. We've kind of been dealing with that possibility for a little while. And if he doesn't, rookie Deron Bland's going to be this team's nickel corner. And I think we feel very good about that. That's not to minimize the value that Jordan brings. We certainly hope he's healthy. We certainly hope he plays. We certainly hope he's available. But if he's not, the Cowboys do have a solid contingency plan at the nickel corner position. Now, when it comes to Michael Gallup, Mike McCarthy starting to play the game, people. Mike McCarthy starting to hit the ones and twos. DJ Mikey Mack is, kind of being a little bit coy with people, I think, here in an obvious and not obvious way at the same time. Mike McCarthy, before Cowboys practice on Thursday, took to the podium, as he always does, and said, hey, never know, because Michael Gallup was a limited participant on Wednesday. Again, this is the timeline. Mike McCarthy took the podium after Wednesday's practice, before Thursday's practice. And again, Gallup was a limited participant on Wednesday. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Gallup, he practiced yesterday. Is he going to play? Maybe. What's going on here? Well, you never know. Mike said, hey, depending on how things go, I want to talk about it. You might want to think about it. And so I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't think there's a chance Michael Gallup is playing. I think everybody knows that. I would love to be wrong. I would love for Michael Gallup to play, score 5 touchdowns, have 300 yards, and sit here. And I don't even think it would be eating crow. I'm not like, this isn't like a prediction. This just makes sense. Michael Gallup himself said a few weeks ago when the team was still in Oxnard at training camp that he wasn't going to play in the season opener. Now, the Cowboys did not put him on the reserve pup list. They haven't put him on injured reserve. They clearly feel very confident that he can return sometime in the next couple of weeks, but this has felt unlikely, and that's not a bad thing. It's a long season. Play the long game. Be smart about this. Don't push Michael Gallup. But Mike McCarthy, he likes to play some chess, right? We talk about Micah Parsons playing some chess. Amari Cooper's a big chess master. I have the chess app on my phone. All right, I'll challenge any one of you to a game. Let's do it. Mike McCarthy knows the game. Mike McCarthy, this is the same Mike McCarthy. I brought this up on a recent video 2 years ago when the Dallas Cowboys held their blue and white scrimmage that is televised and broadcasted on Dallas Cowboys social channels. You may not remember this, or maybe you weren't a huge fan of the Cowboys at the time. This was in 2020, and so there were no fans, obviously. But Mike McCarthy, in the practice that was streamed and televised, had the Cowboys' names and numbers removed from their jerseys. I'm serious. Like, look it up. Their practice jerseys had no names, no numbers, because Mike McCarthy didn't want to give whatever, the Eagles or whoever, any kind of film to study, or wanted to make it harder for them, whatever the case may be. So this is somebody who is very hip to the idea that any advantage that you can establish or any advantage that you cannot relinquish is valuable. I like that, honestly. And so Mike McCarthy, I think, it's my own personal opinion, I think that Mike McCarthy knows that Michael Gallup's not going to play. Again, because I think we all think that, and that's not a bad thing. But I think that Mike McCarthy wants the Buccaneers to think, hey, Michael Gallup might play. Because you know what we're thinking? We're thinking Chris Godwin might play. Chris Godwin was a full participant in Wednesday's Tampa Bay practice, but he did not practice on Thursday. So now we're sitting here saying, is Chris Godwin going to play? Is he not going to play? What's going to happen? Are the Bucs going to do it? Is it going to be Chris Godwin and Mike Evans? And who's Tom Brady going to throw to? Gronk's not there, right? Like, we're playing this game in our head, and that's what Mike McCarthy wants going on. Mike McCarthy wants the Buccaneers to be thinking, well, are they going to play? Is Gallup going to play? If so, who's going to play outside? No, like Mike McCarthy, again, I'm not saying this makes him an amazing head coach or anything like that, but he knows how to play the game. This is all part of life in the NFL. You drop what you want to drop. Breadcrumb here, breadcrumb there, you move on, so on and so forth. I don't think that Michael Gallup's going to play. I personally think my own read on the Jordan Lewis situation is it's kind of 50-50. I'm obviously sad if Michael Gallup doesn't play, or if he doesn't play next week. The team is really missing him, right? The team is really missing another legitimate option opposite of CeeDee Lamb, and that's kind of been one of the big stories about this team, right, over the last few months. What are they going to do? Who are the receiver options going to be? We know they have CeeDee Lamb, but who else is there? Troy Aikman was on the ticket on Thursday and kind of said the same thing. He said there's a lot of games to play. There's all the games to play, but right now we don't know. And the Cowboys are either going to prove us right or they're going to prove us wrong. And I hope that they prove us wrong. I hope the Cowboys come out and Simi Fehoko catches those 5 touchdowns and 300 yards. Noah Brown, chips in another 3 touchdowns and, a conservative 120 yards, right? That would be awesome. Dalton Schultz, Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard. We have a lot of questions about this offense and what it's going to look like on Sunday night against the Buccaneers. And we're just a few days away from finding out what is going to happen. So takeaways from today: don't panic about Dak Prescott. I wouldn't read into what Mike McCarthy had to say about Michael Gallup. We'll see about Jordan Lewis, and we'll see about Chris Godwin. And you're probably watching this video, I'm going to assume, after the Thursday night game. Not Thursday Night Football, but the Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. So it hasn't happened as of this recording. Congratulations to the Bills for winning on Thursday night. That definitely happened. The score was 31-27. Congrats, Bills. Well done. You're winning the AFC this year. Getting super close. Lots of fun stuff. bloggingtheboys.com. Here, the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Blog on the Boys podcast network. My name is RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at RJ Ochoa, on TikTok at rj.ochoa. You can send me an email, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com, if that is more your speed. I'll work on my watch so I can get all the alerts from all the messages and things you send me. But anyway, that about does it. Enjoy the season starting. I hope your fantasy teams all do well. I hope you have a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see you on Friday as we get ready for a Cowboys-Buccaneers game. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next time.